On a different issue, in Australia at the moment, we are having unprecedented numbers of migrants coming into the country. We're told it's for the greater economic good. It's a message the Brits have had for many years, with authorities telling them, well, if you want to get your pensions, we need mass migration. How else are we going to afford your pensions? But there's multiple new reports coming out showing that, well, perhaps that's not the case. The Centre for Migration Control has a report out showing British taxpayers have spent £36 billion on jobless legal migrants and international students. And at the same time, the Brits are being told that thanks to an ageing population, they're going to have to retire later and possibly for a smaller pension too. It's all very interesting data, Douglas, in the lead up to an election.
It's damning, of course, for the Conservative government, who promised legal migration in the tens of thousands, which is what it was in the 1990s before Blair opened the gates. They promised to go back to the tens of thousands a year in net migration, and instead we're approaching a million last year in the UK. Of course, most of the people who come, because of the stupid laws that the Conservative Party have had instead of prioritising high-skilled workers, they've prioritised low-skilled workers and students. So, of course, do not pay, particularly low-skilled workers, do not pay their way. They are a drain on the state. They take out more in benefits than they put in taxation, and almost certainly always will. As for the idea that that you need to import workers, you need to import migrants because of the people growing older and all this. I mean, the mad thing about this, as I've pointed out for years, is migrants grow old as well. It's an astonishing fact that evades the politicians. And what that means is that you just have an ever-growing population that needs an ever larger migrant push from below in order to sustain the living standards of the aging population. I think it's a very, very inept set of policies we've had. I've written about them for years. I've explained for years why these policies are so wrong-headed. And I'm afraid it's a failure of mine and others. The governments didn't take notice. They didn't act on it. And so we have societal and economic consequences that are going to affect everyone's grandchildren.